Hello, Abnormal Investigations. I've got another encounter for you. I hope you all are really enjoying these. Got some really cold weather coming, so what better time than to listen to some stories, right? Some encounters from people. This one here is a pretty good encounter. I think you're going to enjoy it, and I think you're going to have a lot of feedback on it. And I look forward to your comments. I try to answer each and every one. I always have, so let's jump into this one. As I settled into my evening routine, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The sun had dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the small suburban house. I had just finished dinner and was loading the dishwasher when I noticed a strange tingling sensation at the base of my neck. It spread down my spine, leaving my skin prickly with unease. At first I dismissed it as mere paranoia, but the feeling persisted. I couldn't shake the sense that someone was watching me. I glanced out the kitchen window, but the backyard was empty, the only sound being the distant chirping of crickets. As I continued to load the dishwasher, my eyes darted toward the windows. My heart rate increased with each passing moment. I tried to focus on the mundane task at hand, but my senses were on high alert, my ears straining to pick up unusual sound. Suddenly, a faint scratching noise echoed from outside, sending my pulse racing. I froze, my hands hovering over the dirty dishes as I strained to locate the source of the sound. The scratching grew louder, and my eyes locked onto the window above the sink, my breath catching in my throat. That's when I saw it. A shadowy figure, tall and imposing, stood just beyond the window. Its eyes were glowing from the kitchen light. My mind struggled to process what I was seeing. My body, of course, was frozen in terror. As the figure began to move, its presence seemed to fill the entire window frame. My paralysis broke. I spun around, dashing toward the living room, my heart pounding in my chest. I didn't dare look back, fearing what I might see. Instead, I focused on putting as much distance between myself and the unknown entity as possible. My legs pumped furiously as I sprinted toward the front door, my hand grasping the deadbolt. Just as my fingers closed around the cool metal, a low, menacing growl echoed from the kitchen, sending shivers down my spine. I knew then that I wasn't dealing with an ordinary stalker. Something far more sinister was lurking in the shadows. With a surge of adrenaline, I flung open the front door and sprinted out into the night, not stopping until I reached the safety of my car parked at the end of the driveway. Yeah, I know y'all are wondering, why did I leave the house? I did not feel safe in the house. It sounded like it had already made it in. Breathless and shaken, I locked the doors, my eyes scanning the darkness for any sign of the creature that had been stalking me. As I sat there, my heart still racing, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that unblinking eyes were trained on me from the darkness. I started the car and drove to a nearby motel, my mind reeling with thoughts of the creature and its glowing eyes. I rented a room, tried to calm down, but my thoughts were consumed by the encounter. Just as I was starting to drift off to sleep, I heard a scratching noise at the door. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. Could it be the creature? Had it followed me all the way to the motel? Slowly, I got out of bed and I approached the door. I listened carefully, trying to determine what was making the noise. After a moment, I heard a faint whining sound. It was my dog, Max. I quickly opened the door. Max rushed in, tail wagging. I hugged him tightly, tears of joy streaming down my face. But even with Max's comforting presence, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. I knew that I had to take steps to protect myself and Max from the creature's wrath. If Max had made it here from my house, then I was sure the creature had also. I decided to take some precautions and secure my home. I installed motion detectors around my house and I bolt locks on my doors. I also made sure to keep Max by my side at all times. One night, as I was drifting off to sleep, I heard a faint rustling outside. The motion detectors sprang to life, casting an eerie glow over the room. I sat up in bed, my heart racing, and heard the sound of footsteps crunching through the gravel outside as it ran away. Max growled softly, his eyes fixed on the door. I knew the creature had found me again. I slowly got out of bed and approached the door. I could feel the creature's presence on the other side. It was a deep energy, a deep evil that I felt into the room. Suddenly, the door creaked and groaned as if the creature was trying to force its way in. But the bolt locks held firm and the door remained shut. Then the light flashed on, and the creature let out a frustrated growl, and the motion detectors flickered wildly as it began to paced back and forth outside. I could almost follow it due to the lights coming on. I stood frozen, my heart pounding in my chest as the creature continued to try to find a way in. But I noticed, staying out of the lights. But I had prepared well. The motion detectors and bolt locks had given me a sense of security, and I knew that I was safe. As the night wore on, the creature eventually gave up and disappeared into the darkness. I breathed a sigh of relief as the motion detectors fell silent and the room was once again bathed in a peace quiet. I realized that I had finally taken back control of my life. The creature may still be out there, but I was ready for it. I had taken necessary precautions, and I was confident that I could protect myself and Max from its evil clutches. As I drifted off to sleep, I felt a sense of closure. The encounter with the creature had been terrifying, but it also taught me a valuable lesson. I had learned to be prepared to take care of myself and never underestimate the power of fear. As I slept, I knew that I was ready for whatever the future held. The creature may still be lurking in the shadows, but I was no longer afraid. I was strong, I was prepared, and I was ready to face whatever came my way. It's been months since the last encounter, and I'm happy to report that the creature has not returned. The motion detectors and lights around my house and the property seem to have been an effective deterrent. I'm grateful for the sense of safety and security that I have been able to establish, and I'm confident that I can continue to protect myself and Max from future threats. I hope this will help somebody else figure out how to protect their home and place. I'm glad you got rid of it, and that's exactly what everybody says to do, is lights, motion detectors, game cameras, and all that will keep them at bay. Since it's been months, I would make sure that everything stays up working, and it sounds like you've got a good idea and you're at peace. What do you all think? Do you think it's going to keep it away? I think it will, as long as she has it out there and keeps the lights working and everything. Let me know what you all think. And until next time, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner.